Welcome back to another episode of Tribaholics, everyone. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Should have a good one for us today. A little game week finally after a long awaited but glorious victory bye week. So let's start it off. How we feeling? What we drinking on?
Feeling good. Coming off a bye week. Was able to watch some good football games this past weekend. With it being stress free, that was nice. Watching App State get an upset win, and then Kalen Laybourne do his thing, and Marshall beating Notre Dame. That's really good football stuff there. I love it. It was great to see some upsets. Always good to see Jimbo lose a game there in A&M, and the Aggies are melting down and falling apart. So also scheduled a trip. I'm going to Boone, North Carolina this weekend to watch App State play Troy. Be there for game day. As soon as it was announced, one of my buddies who graduated from there was like, let's go. And he booked an Airbnb and just went ahead and just pulled the trigger on it. So looking forward to that. It's going to be my first time in Boone. Looking forward to everything that city has to offer. So that'll be fun. Other than that, I'm drinking a New Belgium Voodoo Ranger IPA. It's another good IPA there. Great assortment of IPAs and beer out of New Belgium. So really looking forward to drinking some of these tonight, and just going to continue switching up my IPAs as we go along.
Well, you're not gonna like what I'm drinking. I just got done working out, so I'm drinking some water. Hydration. It's healthy. It's good for you. Alcohol bad. Drink water.
It is good. It is good for you. But
I just didn't have it in me to make a vodka Sprite. I was like trying to cut the calories. Gotta.
Yeah, that would be rough. But water is good for you, but kind of defeats the purpose of the show there, Ben.
Well, no, because I'm sipping on water. I'm not chugging it. I'm sipping on something. I'm just gonna start lying to you whenever I drink water.
It's better that way.
Yeah. So I guess we'll recap week 2 for a little bit. Just quick little recap. I'm so glad we did not play because that was such a shit show for everyone. There's that 1 week every year where everyone plays like dog shit. It was so nice to not be a part of it. I was like,
why is it always week 2? It's always week 2 when shit like this goes down. It's pretty crazy.
I guess everyone has their little hangover game from their first victory or something, or usually it's against like small schools like Marshall and stuff. You got a bigger game the next week and you overlook them.
Yeah,
sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Looking at you, Notre Dame.
That's a rough start for them. What are they, 0-2? Freeman already probably on the hot seat, and he just started his tenure as their head coach. So
Iowa let us down. They let us all down. I was watching with my friend's stepdad, who's an Iowa fan. The reason I like Iowa, and it was hard to get into, man. There is nothing going on in that game. It was brutal. But we were just kind of chilled, ate some wings, rotel dip. 2 TVs on, just flipping back and forth between the good games. Had to rally a couple of times to stay awake because I was exhausted, but we got through the day. And then Baylor BYU was actually a pretty good game until it was college kickers do their thing and stuff. I had Baylor money line, so I was not pleased with the outcome, but they were in that game a lot longer than they needed to be.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that one. It was raining in Tampa pretty much all day Saturday, so we kind of set up a outside little area with a slip and slide and had a good old time watching these games. Had the TVs, stacked one above each other inside in the breezeway with the breezeway doors wide open. So it was a nice day overall. Got pretty drunk, so can't complain.
Yeah, can't complain at all. So I wanted to add something new, kind of to recap the week this week because we didn't have to play. My top 25, and you're either going to disagree or you're going to agree because it is all opinion based, but this is the right top 25. Whatever else you see out there is wrong. And I even made banners for it, so if you can't hear, you can still see it. Number 1, Georgia. I feel like, they don't really need to say anything. They look like the best team in football right now. Ohio State comes in at number 2. Ohio State, and then you have Bama at 3. You could flip them. That's
pretty interchangeable right there. I like it.
But, I'll give Ohio State the benefit of the doubt for beating Florida State legend James Blackman by a lot. 4, Michigan. It's a tough. They look good. They look better than I thought. I thought they were going to suck this year, but they look good. So where things get a little spicy. USC. I'm buying into the hype. Week 1, I was kind of like, okay, I'll see what they're doing. A lot of defensive touchdowns, but they kept the tempo up. BYU. We got to respect the Mormons. It is time, fellas. They went in and they beat a good coached Baylor team. I know it was at home, but without their top 2 wide receivers. That's a good Baylor team. It's a good Baylor team. I didn't want to put Clemson at 7, but I kind of had to because there was no one else that was close to them or close to BYU's level at 6. So, it kind of sucks. This one hurt me too. Arkansas at 6, but I saw a stat. Their offensive line, or Arkansas's at 8, but their offensive line is average size is 6'6", 315. They're like all seniors.
They're huge.
Yeah, and they run the ball well. They beaten teams how they should. 2 decent teams.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, thank you for ending that Anthony Richardson Heisman campaign. That made me happy. It was very short-lived. Texas, they were the better team the entire game.
They got robbed.
They
should have been a safety.
Safety screwed them. They win by 2 scores with Ewers. So I'm not a moral victory guy, but I'm going to give them 1. I'm going to put them at 10. 11, Tennessee. I love Hendon Hooker. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's fun to watch. They got a good offense. They beat a good Pitt team. On the road. Was it at Tennessee or was that Pitt? I think it was at Pitt.
It was at Pitt, I believe.
Yeah, they won a good tough game at Pitt. That's something special. 12, Oklahoma. I told my Oklahoma fans about injured UFC QBs who transfer, and they didn't listen. Dylan Gabriel looks like ass, but they're a good team. Oh, they're a good team. 13. That's supposed to say Oklahoma State, but it doesn't. It says Oklahoma. But Oklahoma, they would look better. Central Michigan scared me a little bit, but Gundy's a good coach. They're getting right. We're going to keep the theme going with 14. Big 12, Baylor. Tough loss at BYU. They're a good team. I'm not going to knock them too much for that loss. It took them overtime. Really shouldn't have gone to overtime because BYU's kickers stunk it up, but they still won.
Yeah, it looks like you got a lot of Big 12 there, middle of the pack, so they kind of got to prove themselves, and we'll see where they're at, where they eventually land at.
They all beat each other up. Now I kind of get into the ACC, as you'll see. I'll try to break it up here. 15, NC State. They looked like shit in the first quarter, just box score watching, and then they blew them out like 55-10, so enough said, The Eastern Carolina, they're a good team, but I still want to see more just because I don't respect the ACC at all. Wake, I'm back on board. Sam Hartman, he's him. We saw it.
It's good to see him back, right?
Good to see him back. He was throwing the ball well. Anyone who I know some dude who actually auto drafted him in fantasy was like, haha, sucks to be you, and now he's cooking.
Yep, kind of a steal right there.
Yeah, Michigan State at 17. I don't know why. It just kind of seems like a good fit for him, to be honest with you. I couldn't explain why. I got Ole Miss at 18. Respect Lane Kiffin. That offense is good. They'll beat some good teams, and they'll end up in the top 10 by the end of the year. Well, they may drop out, but they'll be there at some point. Kansas State. They were 8-point favorites and smoked Missouri. Deuce Vaughn? He's him. No, it's not Deuce Vaughn.
I couldn't tell you about him. Yeah, it is Deuce Vaughn, I think.
No, that was the Vandy guy.
The running back.
Or it actually might be. I don't know. I think it is Deuce Vaughn. But anyways, he's him. Their running back's him. Good coach. Adrian Martinez still sucks apparently, but they're winning games and they're winning them big.
Can't change that.
Yeah. Miami 20. They won't be there next week. They just don't look good right now. Pitt 21.
They pulled away late. But they just got to be more consistent. And they're just not consistent at all. So it'll be interesting to see, how they play out the rest of their season.
Yeah. Pitt, hard fought game against my 11 team Tennessee. They got a good win over West Virginia, rivalry game. Very fun game to watch. I'll give it to them. It's where we should have been with AP poll voters suck. Florida State at 22. Jordan Travis, your Heisman front runner. You heard it here first. We're him. Then Mississippi State, 23. They're a good team, solid team. Will Rogers, they can move the ball. I thought they were going to be ass this year. They were proving me wrong. Good offense, defense still isn't great, but we'll see how they do against LSU this week at LSU for their home opener, or I guess second home opener, a real home opener. That last week did not count. And then NC at 24. They played Arkansas well at Arkansas. I gave them some credit. And then this is where I got lost. I didn't know what to do for 25. I was like, did I put A&M? Like, fuck no, A&M's terrible. It's not good. So I decided to give Marshall credit for what they deserved. Big road win at at the time ranked 6th Notre Dame. They are not. We do not
Yeah,
see.
I was looking at your list, and I was curious on if you were going to actually throw in either Marshall or App State. So I'm glad to see that you were able to fit Marshall in there at least.
I wanted to put App State in, but then I would have had to put UNC in, and I know UNC is not a top 25 team, so
Right.
I couldn't justify it. But yeah, otherwise that's
day and night by them. By the way, the game against freaking UNC that they played was just insane with the amount of touchdowns and scoring going on, and then playing a hard fought, great grinded out game against an A&M team. So
yeah,
completely different looks.
I don't even know if App State was a better team. I think LSU or not LSU, A&M just was overlooking them for Miami.
Well, they also got out coached. I mean, Jimbo got out coached, out schemed.
I am shocked that he got out coached running his offense from 2012. I am shocked.
Yeah, that's sarcasm, right? It's got to be because it was bad. Like there was it was just looked so bad. Lackadaisical, looked like guys didn't want to be there on the field. Like they didn't really care to even play the game to begin with. And you're probably right. They're probably looking ahead to Miami, but now pretty much, their chances of making it to the college football playoff are slim unless they run the table there in the SEC West and win the SEC with just one loss to App State. As long as App State has rest of their good or has a good season the rest of the way as well. So interesting there. Happy for App State, Marshall. I love that you threw us in there. 22. I like it. Usually teams who have bye weeks get the benefit of the doubt when teams lose like they did this past weekend. But we didn't get the benefit of the doubt. It ended up being like App State and Marshall who started, receiving more votes than we did to jump into the top 25. So I like it. I think we probably deserve to be in there, probably in that 22 to 25 range. It's good though. I like it. I like us not being ranked ultimately because it still gives us, we have to have that chip on our shoulder, right? We still want to eventually get there. So hopefully, we win this weekend. We're ranked. My roommate just shouted by happy birthday to my guy, by the way, my roommate. So big 3-0, old man.
30 years of wins and losses. Heartbreak.
I forgot y'all were boomers. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're old. But yeah, if we win this weekend, we should absolutely be ranked in that top 25. Probably somewhere anywhere between 18 and 25, depending on how we win. So
what's the weather like this weekend?
It looks beautiful as of right now. So 83 degrees. Looks good, nice. So be good.
Well, I guess now we're talking about us being ranked, playing Louisville. I was going to touch on the A&M. They got a good shot to start 2-7, man. I was going to look at their schedule. They got Miami at home. I think they win a little bit. I don't know. I go back and forth. They could win that. They could lose that. They have Arkansas at home. They could lose that. At Mississippi State, they might lose. At Bama, that's going to be fun. At South Carolina, they could lose. Ole Miss at home, they might lose. Florida at home, they'll probably win that. At Auburn, they're going to lose. Trust me. War Eagle.
It's a really tough schedule, dude.
UMass at home, they're going to win. LSU at home, they'll probably win. But, I mean, they're
Well, I guess it depends. LSU looks good. I mean, they really tore it apart. I think Jaden Daniels was the best overall rated quarterback in the SEC the last weekend. So had almost a perfect, rating coming out of that game, albeit, it's not a huge team that they played or a huge competition at all, but LSU looks good. So by that time that game comes around, if A&M's quit, which it kind of might look like that is something that's,
they lose to Miami, they might win one more.
It's something that just seems to be coming to a head right now, right? Like it seems like it's starting to show its ugliness, I guess is what you could say, because team didn't look like they wanted to be involved at all. Didn't look like they cared for whatever was going on at all that whole game. So
you think they fired Jimbo?
If they continue this downslide, I can see the team quitting. And Jimbo did the whole, everybody had to sign the commitment things whenever he was here, and kind of changed the season a little bit back in 2015 or 2016. So maybe Jimbo's got something up his sleeve. If not, he's going to lose his team, and then you're on the hot seat because you're not doing too much better. You're probably doing worse than how Kevin Sumlin had up to this point. So
he is like win percentage wise, he is. And there's also no buyout. They owe him. They're paying him $75 million regardless. So If he goes 3-8 this year or 3-9 this year, I don't see it happening. But I mean,
No, I mean they'll cut him loose. I mean, A&M's got the money,
yeah,
obviously.
they do not care. They're like, you
They
suck.
don't care. So they'll get rid of him if they don't think he's the right guy. The
I
biggest
hope they
question,
get rid of him and get Dabo. That's my
the biggest thing for them would be is if they would have to have the right coach available before
Dabo.
they got rid of
Go
Jimbo.
get him. Go get him. Get him out of my conference.
Right. But if like the right coach is available for them to go and get that they know is a better replacement over Jimbo, then they'll do it. But if there's not the right guy out there for them, they'll keep Jimbo until that right guy comes along.
Yeah,
And then
there's no
you
point.
never know.
Yeah.
But it's funny to watch A&M fans melt down on their message boards.
Oh, dude, I enjoy it. That if you just go through Karen Key Largo's tweets, I'm sure they're hilarious.
Yeah, her and TJ were going at it on Twitter the other day. It was fucking hilarious to see. It's like, oh my god,
your team's
I've never cried in a game before, and here I am.
Karma's a bitch, ain't it?
Yep, it's funny.
All right, well, on to the spicy stuff. Louisville preview. I feel like I'm nervous, but I don't think I should be. I don't know if I'm nervous enough. I don't know how to feel.
Let's go over how they looked last week against UCF.
Shit. Offensive line, bad. Wide receivers, mid. Quarterback, mid. Running backs, mid. DBs, solid. D-line, mid. Linebackers, mid. I mean, coaching, ass. Like,
he's a good coach. I don't know.
Is he?
I don't know. I mean, it's still out. I mean, last year he had a good season, so they expected to do better. But the start of their season was not quite up to what was expected of them coming in. So that's a big question mark. UCF, who I thought was going to absolutely blow them away. The game being at the bounce house and everything, which wasn't the case.
Plumlee owes us money.
Yeah, he does. I mean, they had the lead like 14-10 with like 2 or 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and then he throws a pick six, which completely took all the juice out of the bounce house and out of the team at the same time. I mean, Malik Cunningham had a very pedestrian game throwing the ball, 14-29, 200 yards. He was their lead rusher. He had 121 yards on the ground, which is something we've talked about, prior to this week, is that we're going to have to make sure that we spy him, keep the edges closed, keep him in the pocket and force him to throw. So that way you are able to get some of those turnovers that we should be able to jump all over with our secondary, which clearly UCF was not able to do. You allow them to tilt the rock 17 times for 121 yards and a touchdown. So, watch that tape, learn what not to do, and, just play your game. And I think we'll be fine. But nothing really flashy from their wide receivers either. It's just UCF blew the game, ultimately, is
pretty
what
much.
I mean, UCF blew the game. UCF's a better team than how they played Louisville. I don't know why they played them so bad.
Because Gus Malzahn sucks.
Yeah.
That's why he's not employed at a big school anymore.
I mean, he's a good offensive line.
He's running that 2014 screen run.
Stuck in his ways. So,
he and Jimbo should coach together. And
there you go. That's not a bad idea. They might actually be decent or just run shitty offense.
He runs that gimmick shit that works where, like, if you have better athletes at UCF, it works because he has better athletes in most of the conference, but it doesn't work against teams like Louisville where you're going against, like, faster, bigger guys. It doesn't work. But clearly, he insisted that it was going to work, and it never worked. I don't know. I feel like this is like I was looking at like all the betting stuff. The sharp money's coming in on FSU, which makes me feel good. Lines moved a lot. And I think people are going to keep putting money on FSU.
And it started off as a pick'em, correct?
And now it's 2.5.
No, it's 2.5. So it's gone from pick'em to -2, now up to 2.5. So a lot of money coming in. Could be a good thing.
Which makes me feel good.
Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing.
It depends on who the money. Like if it was a public money, then I'd feel like shit. But it's it's the sharp guys. I saw that. Like my buddy's got that Action Network thing, so it's all the guys that like do this for like a living. So that made me feel good. It really, I think it's going to come down to how we start. Like I almost kind of agree with someone. Someone said like, I want to win the toss, take the ball, and hit him in the fucking mouth. Like because that atmosphere is going to like they always play us tough. Like up there, they always get up for FSU, and it's on a Friday. But I think, you hit them in the mouth early and go up 2 scores quick and you take that atmosphere out of the game, it's a blowout.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a close win.
I mean, that would be nice to say about every game, right? Like, you just come out and just fucking take off, and you don't have to worry about shit the rest of the game as long
I
as
mean,
you
I need like a Clemson 2013 type game. Hit them in the mouth,
and don't
go
stop.
up big, and then blow them out.
Yeah, I mean, just come out with a little urgency, right? Like, that's all we want. Show urgency. Show that you're ready for this. Like, obviously, the LSU game, we had a pretty decent start to the game, even though it was only 7-3 at halftime, and in the third quarter we kind of took off. But we controlled that game. Come out and control this game just like you did there in New Orleans. So I expect it to happen. Louisville is going to come out with a little bit more confidence now that they have a win under their belt, especially after going into Orlando and beating UCF. So they're going to have a lot more confidence than they had probably going into the UCF game. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. It's Friday night game. So, their fans are going to be, pretty lit and pretty fired up for that one. So we'll see. But I think ultimately, come out, hit them in the mouth. Great. We hope that happens. Our running game, we need to get that going again after the LSU.
They're giving up 208 yards a game. We should move the ball well.
Right. Like, we should be able to. So let's just force that a little bit early on. Get the running backs going, so then you can open up the throwing plays for Jordan. Open up those lanes so Micah can get open. Johnny Wilson, all the rest of the guys. So I don't really have an issue thinking that our offense is kind of going to have their way with their defense. The defensive line doesn't scare me. Linebackers don't scare me. Secondaries, hit or miss for them. They could either give up like huge plays, or like we saw with, against UCF, is they got a pick six and we're able to pretty much lock down UCF's wide receivers, which is kind of a concern because we don't really know where our wide receivers are at. They have the promise, but it's still early on in the season. So I don't know who exactly Jarvis Brownlee is going to be matched up on. I would guess probably Pokey. So that'll be, kind of fun to watch those two former teammates go at it. I'm going to be dogging Brownlee all fucking game, yelling at the TV. So that'll be fun to do. But our defense should also have their way as long as they, like I mentioned earlier,
our D-line should absolutely they should not have time to throw the ball.
No, but also you don't want to just continuously get pressure up the middle. You want to be able to get pressure from the outside, force him to step up into the pocket, which then leads him into the back of his offensive lineman, and our defensive tackles are right there ready to just wrap up and take him down because those are some big boys there. So contain the edges, keep a spy, even when he does roll out, which I'm sure they are going to do plenty of rollouts, plenty of play action passes, because they know their offensive line is not going to be able to hold up against our defensive line. And they're going to try and move Malik Cunningham out of the pocket, get him on the run. And he's a better thrower on the run anyways. And so but the one thing with him, though, is he'll take his eyes from downfield and look to run before passing, which is opposite of what Jordan Travis does. So I think we have the advantage at every position coming into this one. I know it was mentioned today that Travis Jay is our scout quarterback in practice this week, trying to emulate what Malik Cunningham does, which helps. I think Travis played. Didn't he play quarterback at some point?
He did. He played it in high school a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like we just took some athletic freak. It's like he's an athletic freak. At first, I was kind of like, I'd be so disrespected, but I mean, I still would feel a little disrespected. But also, you got to get a guy that you can like. Right? Travis is probably more athletic than Jay, in my opinion. Just running the ball more is quicker, but
but you also don't want to get Travis hurt.
Exactly. You don't want him running around all practice and stuff. You want to keep him rested and just keep him confident throwing.
Yep.
That's not his game anymore. His game is not. Like he is a passer. Like he runs very rarely now, which I like. I don't need him.
I mean, look, games last year and the year before, you look at Travis, right? Like he was having games where he was running for like anywhere from 40 to like 70 yards a game. And now in the first two games of the year, he's averaging probably less than like 15 yards a game running the ball.
Which I love, but I don't love for my fantasy team because I did draft him off of his running skill. But I'd rather win games than fantasy games. So
you take what you can get there. So exactly. I mean, I'd rather him pass the ball.
Exactly. I don't want to. I'd rather win.
At the end of the day, we're looking for wins and we're looking for our quarterback to make plays down the field. So for Jordan to be able to push the ball down and hit his wide receivers and be a good passing quarterback, not just a runner, so be it. That's a positive in my mind. So I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do. Now coming into ACC play. the level heightens up a bit. Teams are going to start gunning for you. You're 2-0. You're right on the verge of being ranked. Louisville is looking to have a statement win, and they're at home at night. So they're going to be gunning for you. They're coming for you. They don't want Florida State to be like, oh, Florida State's back or anything like that. They don't want to allow us to do that, which, I mean, nobody is going to want the other team to come in there and just push them around or anything. But they're going to come out with a little fire. They're going to come out with a lot of want to. They're going to want to beat us. Crowd will be hostile. And but you look at Louisville, I just don't see it happening, man. I mean, they're only averaging 13.5 points per game, which is not all that much.
That UCF defense isn't great, and they got 21.
No, and I mean, we took their best linebacker, so that just doesn't look good when you're averaging 13.5 points per game. Florida State is only giving up 15 points a game to opponents while scoring 35.5 points per game on average.
Yeah.
It just doesn't bode well for Louisville, and Louisville gives up almost 10 more points to their opponents so far through 2 games. It's a lopsided look here, but you can't look past the team. And, the following week we have BC, so it shouldn't be a trap game where, we're looking ahead or anything of that nature. So just come out there, play your game, play it well, and you should be able to win it. We're averaging 515 total yards and only giving up 250. So everything looks good. Defense is playing well. Jared Verse is the #1 overall rated edge rusher in the nation, according to PFF. So everything is clicking on all cylinders. Everybody looks good. Special teams. This is a game that you should be able to work on. Ryan Fitzgerald. Okay. Use this as a barometer for yourself throughout the rest of the season. Take this game very seriously. And, move on from the pretty much horrid, game you had last game against LSU, kicking out multiple balls out of bounds, missing a field goal. So just improve from that. Mastro is going to be Mastro. We'll see what.
We won't need him.
Don't even. Hopefully not. But return games should be fine. You got Deuce back there, Micah, Sam McCall doing his thing as well. So overall, I think we have the advantage. It'll be interesting to see if we throw anything out there that might be different.
Mike's creative. I feel like he will.
He's very creative, right? He's a great offensive-minded guy. He knows how to put his guys in position to win. And, I mean, he's talking about Williamson, the wide receiver that we haven't really seen much of because he's been injured throughout fall camp, whatever. And we might even get to see him, get some playing time here in Louisville, which would be great to see as well. Winston Wright has been catching punts and actually running with them now. So he's starting to look a little bit better. Mike's pretty fired up about that. Mike is pissed off and embarrassed by the FSU beat writers, though. It's pretty fun. Did you see that the other day?
What happened?
I don't know what it was. I think it might have been Ira or somebody. And Mike goes, he's like, y'all are embarrassing. These are embarrassing questions. And then he's about to walk off, and Ira goes, can I ask one more question? Can I ask one more question? And Mike goes, sure. And steps back on the podium and answers Ira's question. And then he's walking off, and he's like, I don't know why War Chant still kept the video going at this point, but it's he's like, I don't know what's up with y'all today. Y'all got to do better. He's like, be better tomorrow. He's like, be better. He's like, yo, it was just
he got pissed off at our first practice back after LSU, which rightfully so. He's like, job's not finished. We're 2-0. We got 10 more football games at least.
I think he's feeling it to the point where he knows he's in control, right? So he's not really fighting for his job anymore. He's not necessarily trying to turn it around. He's not focused on saying the right things anymore. He just doesn't give a fuck, and he's going to run it how he wants to run his show. And that's
what we brought
trickles down from his staff to his team to the FSU beat. So
exactly. I am glad we didn't play last week. I don't know how much college players watch other teams play, because I feel like they probably do get pretty footballed out. They're not sitting binge watching on Saturdays and stuff. It's probably their days off. But I know the coaches were probably watching. They just heard scores from now. So I guess they're gonna be like, you can't look past anyone, or else, App State beats you at home, Marshall beats you at home, shit hits the fan. You're like, oh, so hopefully that'll just kind of be there. And And kind of going back to what you said about our offense, I mean, LSU's got better athletes everywhere on their defense, and we were pretty much taking what we wanted by the second half. We were moving it through the air on the ground and weren't really struggling. They couldn't stop us on third down. And it's a Travi Patty revenge game. I think it's going to be a first start against Louisville since
Is it
transferring, because I think 2 years ago, Blackman was the guy. I'm going to look it up.
who played last year, or did we
Milton.
did we not play Louisville last year, or was
Milton.
McKenzie in?
Travis was hurt. Milton was playing. I don't think he is.
Speaking of Trav, did you listen to his space with Timmy Tebow?
Did not.
It was pretty good. They were talking little Gators, Florida State stuff, and I don't know. I didn't listen to the whole thing. And Big Noel on Twitter put out, he was like, "Oh, Tebow said that he would like to have Jordan as his quarterback for Florida." I was like, "It's got to be a troll," knowing Big Noel. But I thought it was funny. Apparently, Tebow loves Jordan. He loves what he's been able to do in his progression, and loves everything that he does off the field. So it's really interesting. And Jordan listens to country music before games, which I found very, very interesting. Not my first choice of music to listen to before a game. I love country music, but I'm not gonna hype myself up with country music. But I mean, to each their own. It's a little tidbit about Jordan. He drives a big ass truck. Everybody should know what he drives at this point. He goes fishing. Him and Dylan Gibbons love to go do that. So he's a country boy at heart, and so he just keeps that rolling into game day, I guess.
Where is he from? He's from North Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's from Palm Beach, so it's not even really that country.
I guess being in Louisville for a year got to him. But no,
I think him and his brother Devin, who obviously played baseball at Florida State. That's kind of like what they did growing up and things of that nature. So I get it. So I mean, it's cool to like learn a little bit about Travis that some of us didn't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim Tebow's a big fan, so that's good to have.
I need my jersey. I've ordered it. I impulse bought it's been 161 Travi Patty. I was like, fuck it, I'm buying this shit. The moment I saw, I was like, I think there's out of them now because I can't see them on the website.
Oh yeah, I mean they sold out really quick on Fanatics, and I don't even know if Garnet Gold has any left over. And the last place that I saw them was like the Seminole Shop, but I'm sure they're sold out at this point too. Mm-hmm. But speaking of uniforms and shit, thoughts on these fucking jerseys and helmets, dude?
Electric. They are beautiful. I saw them last week and I was like, holy shit, there's no shot. I'm so glad that we finally brought off the white helmets.
And I think the biggest thing here is that recruits have been asking for it, right? Like it's been the recruits.
Recruiting so much. If we win at those, this is wraps. Go ahead.
It's the best alternate
players. We're taking Notre Dame's players. We're taking anyone's players.
It might be the best alternate unis that we have, or that we've had.
It's not close. It's up there
that we've had ever, probably. Like the black fucking whatever with the faded black shit into garnet or red or whatever fuck color you want to call it was just fucking horrendous, and like I hated those jerseys so bad. Now we're getting back to where we're supposed to be. A lot of older guys are like, "Oh, I hate them. Why don't we just wear our normal?"
I hate boomers, bro.
Our normal stuff, and I'm just like, dude, get over it. Like it's fun. The kids love it. Like the team loves it. The recruits love it. It's a clean fucking look. All white, top to bottom, is just so fucking
best uniform of sports.
It's so fucking sexy.
Like, I hate to say it, but I love Florida's all whites. They look sexy too.
Yeah,
Miami's all whites, sexy. Anyone with all whites, sexy.
It looks good. It looks good. So,
I saw something about Auburn wearing all orange out this weekend. There's like some old dude. He's like, I think it's gonna look ugly as shit, but if the players and recruits like it, go for it because they're enjoying it. Have fun, like exactly.
So I absolutely love them. I watched the video probably about 10 times because I was just like, dude, this is awesome.
I didn't realize people in the video went to Louisville.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna bring up next. Like, what a little troll job by whoever decided to do that. Oh yeah, we're gonna get the two guys who transferred from Louisville, and Jared Jackson and Trav. So it helps when your QB1 in Travis is a transfer from Louisville. It's easy to do that. Jared Jackson, playing his role as well on the team and being pretty good at it. It just worked out great. So I loved it. The video was nice and clean, very well done. Ice Ice Baby, perfect song to put on there because it's icy. But I like, somebody else said this is like, why don't we wear, you know how we pack the garnet pants or whatever, right? So we pack the garnet pants, we wear the white tops and everything, right? Throw the white helmet on that and look how clean that'll look as well. So there's multiple things you can do with those helmets. It'll be interesting to see if we do them again this year. I highly doubt we will. I think it'll be one game, you know, this game against Louisville that we break out the white helmets, but it's good to know that we have them, you know, like at least we're doing something positive when it comes to our uniforms and not, you know, reverting back to what happened in 2014 and that travesty of a decision by the program. So I love it. I'm excited to see them in all white. It'll be interesting to see what Louisville brings out, if they're going to wear, you know, their normal red and whites, or if they'll go black out with their blackish gray jerseys or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out with, but very excited to watch the boys play in the all whites.
Yeah. So I did some research. Jordan Travis did play in 2020 when we went up there and lost 48-16. We got smoked. He went like 14 for 32. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It was rough. So, still a revenge game. He's going to go out there and beat the shit out of him.
We should. I mean,
405 touchdowns. Make me happy, make me smile. Run it
yeah,
up.
if we can get the ball thrown in the air, if Jordan can have like a 300-yard game with like 4 touchdowns, that will just send me over the top if that's the case. And then if the running backs can get somewhere around 200 yards as well, you know, have over 500 yards of total offense like we've been averaging, that would be fantastic. You know, as best case scenario, let's hope that happens. But obviously there's going to be lapses. It's still early on in the season, beginning ACC play. I'm not going to be shocked if Louisville kind of pulls out some trickeration against us to try and do something other than what we already know that they're going to do. So something to keep an eye on, but excited. Going to be watching it Friday up in Boone. Can't wait to go to the bars there, watch that game, and really looking forward to it. And hopefully this is a hot start of ACC play. And then, you know, BC probably most likely should be almost a 95% W for you there, being at Doak.
They averaged 16.5 rushing yards a game.
Yeah, being at Doak at night. I wish this game was at noon because I hate watching a blowout game at night. I just rather just kind of get it over with. But
I'll take the night atmosphere.
I mean, if you're walking into NC State, because that's who we play after BC, I think. Not 100% sure on that, but if you're walking into NC State 4-0, that's a great look. Guys got some confidence behind them, and then immediately after that, you've got Clemson. So don't look ahead there. You know, obviously that's 2 big games in a row. Luckily for us, I think, is it Clemson or is it NC State and Miami end up playing Clemson the week before we do? So that kind of bodes well for us too moving forward.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I do like their third game in 13 days. We got a bye week before, so we're rested, we're prepared, extra film. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm trying to think of a reasonable score prediction. I'm gonna go look at the over/under and just kind of build around that.
Over/under's at 56.
56 kind of goes up 38 plus 17.
I mean, I could see it being like a 42 to like 14 game or 42-21. They split it in half or something like that. I don't think their defense is as good as UCF made them look.
I'm gonna go with. I guess let's take the other. I'm gonna go with 38-17 Noles, but they get the last touchdown in garbage time. So it's not really ever close. Fitz probably missed a field goal or 2. You know.
I think Fitz has a perfect game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he has a perfect game.
Oh, that's bold.
He's going to nail every kickoff. He's going to nail every field goal that he takes, every extra point. This is one of those games that he's got to bounce back from the last one. I know we have a freshman kicker, but like you can't really trust a freshman kicker unless his name starts with an R and his last name is an Aguayo. You can't really trust a freshman kicker when it comes to that. So, and I know the second Aguayo, Ricky, didn't necessarily have the best career at Florida State, but his rookie or his freshman year when he came in. I mean, he drilled all 4 or 5 of his field goals against Ole Miss in his first game ever. So both of them were good, and we need that back. This is a chance for Fitz to kind of cement that for himself, cement himself as the kicker, because if he does bad again, then I'm sure Mike's going to be in his ear like, dude, you're about to lose your job.
Well, he shouldn't have a job, but that's a conversation for another day. So what's your score prediction?
I'm going to stick with it. I like 42-21. I'm going to have that last touchdown by them being in garbage.
No field goals, ballsy.
Yep, I like it. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting. Hopefully, I'm right with how our offense should click against him, but I'm pretty confident. So I'm going to ride with that.
All right. Well, before we get to Degenerates Anonymous, I'm going to add our buddy Thomas. I'm going to see what he thinks real quick of the game. Give him a little touch up. Welcome.
What's going on?
You got any quick thoughts on the game and a score prediction before we start our little locks?
I'm going to go Florida State, Louisville 21.
What was FSU's?
31.
All right.
So a little 10-point win.
I can take it.
Closer than, both me and Ben. So, I mean, it's probably a good idea to have it closer, though, because of all the extracurriculars that are going to be happening. I mean, the game's in Louisville. So, first ACC game for us, too. So, I don't mind it. 10-point win, definitely plausible.
I'll tell you. I
just think Louisville on a Friday night is a place to play. I feel like they always pull off an upset a year playing on a random day. So
that sounds about right. Friday night games are not fun if you're a road team, which is kind of why I'm excited for playing Florida at home on a Friday. We get them at home on a Friday. All right, well, on to our favorite segment, Degenerates Anonymous. Last week sucked. We all went 1-2. If you listen to us, you lose money almost every week, but eventually we're going to get.
Hey, my Baylor pick, they were in double overtime. They had the chance to win it. Ben and I were watching at the bar.
You would have pushed
in the bag.
You kicked it in.
I don't even remember what my picks were.
We both had Bama -20.
Yeah, that was rough.
UCF -5.5 was rough. I was feeling good at halftime.
Yeah.
And then you had Virginia Tech by 2.5, and I had Boston College money line.
Thank God for VT.
Yeah.
I told you.
Look, I'm sorry that I misevaluated Boston College for being better than they were.
Yeah, mistake on your part.
Well, Greg Halfley, you no longer have a job after this year. I thought I was going to get a good job somewhere, but he will not. Well, starting with my first pick, I've got the Noles -2.5. I had us winning by 21 points, so 2.5 seems pretty reasonable. I mean, I feel like we win. We've had our 1-point win, 2-point win maybe, but I'm feeling at least a field goal. At least a field goal win, but I really don't think it's close. I'm feeling
yeah, going off that, my first pick is also FSU. Excuse me, -2.5. Getting that half point right there is huge. Even if we do just win by a field goal, I obviously had already predicted that we were going to beat them by 21 points as well. So I like us to easily cover there. Getting it at 2.5 right now is pretty huge because
it will keep moving.
The game could come down to a field goal.
It'll be 3.5 by the time the game opens, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I could even see it jumping up to maybe 4.5 or 5.5 or something like that. So it just depends on how much money rolls in. I mean, it's Tuesday, so we got tons of time leading up to the Friday kickoff.
Well,
Thomas.
Why? Well, I'm trying to think what order to go this. I'm going to go least confident to most confident.
Oh, that's actually pretty smart.
Least confident, Vandy money line.
Oh, I almost took it. I almost took that too.
Who do they play?
Who do they play?
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, so we just don't even know who they play. We're just going.
No, I looked at this earlier, but I forgot to put.
Okay, Vandy's going to
win. Northern Illinois.
Yeah, I think it's at Northern Illinois too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think both teams are.
I cried when I found out we were playing them in 2012. I cried. I wanted a good bowl game. I cried. There were tears in my face.
Yeah, I like that pick. I almost took Vandy money line too as one of my picks. I can't believe they're. I mean, I guess Northern Illinois is getting the 2.5 points because they're at home, but I don't think that matters. I think Vandy is not a bad team, even though they kind of got a little bit of a butt spanking last weekend. But you were playing Wake, so Northern Illinois is not Wake Forest, and I agree. I think Vandy comes out with that W, and they're going to start the season 3-1.
Hey, they're making a bowl game. I'm calling it now.
I hope so. When Vandy's good, football's fun.
I mean, I would have loved to see what their over/under win total was to start the year because it was probably set at 2.5 or something like that. And so if they win this game, that like everybody who took the Vandy under on the win is just fucked 3 games into the year.
Pretty much. My second pick. I'm going to try to keep this as clean as possible. I have, because I have some choice words, but I have Auburn money line over Penn State.
Thought about that one as well.
I think it's going to be hard to come into Jordan Hare. A little voodoo shit goes on all the time. And I get our offense stinks, but like Sean Clifford's not great either, and their O-line isn't great. And it's just I don't know. I don't trust James Franklin and that offense to score enough points to beat Auburn on the road in the southern humidity at 84 degrees at 2:30 primetime kickoff. The game last week did not reassure me against San Jose State, but I also think the guys are kind of overlooking them for Penn State. So I feel like Auburn should get this one here. +3 is probably a safer pick, but I'm going for my points because I'm behind. So I'm taking money line.
Yeah, that stadium is going to be rocking. I've watched both games. Actually, went to first one. Our defensive play calling, really their offensive play game was super conservative, super basic. I think this week we're going to come out guns a-blazing, especially after how it went last year at the wideout. I mean, I think that's a good pick, but I could also see Auburn being Auburn and probably losing like 35-3. So,
well, it's a very Auburn thing to win this one, then lose to Missouri next week.
Well, luckily it's at home. Like you'll have the crowd behind you. Sean Clifford, God bless his soul.
I'm gonna make so many jokes.
Been in the NCAA for about 10 years now. Like I just feel like he's like a generation here. Like it's just ridiculous. Like I don't understand how he's been here so long or been at Penn State so long. But he's not that great of a quarterback. You saw him struggle in the first game of the year. And now going into a hostile environment at Jordan O'Hare. That's going to be a tough environment for him to play in. I expect Auburn to kind of pick it up, probably give us some different looks than what we've seen up to this point. So I like the pick. It's something I looked at, but I wasn't very excited to take Auburn on the money line. But I don't mind the pick. I'll continue with that. My second pick here is going to be Michigan State money line. I don't know why they're dogs in this game, even though the game is at Washington. Michigan State's a better football team, plain and simple. Washington plays everybody good. We do understand that. We know what we're to expect with Washington. They got, decent players and everything, but still, Michigan State, they're ranked 11. They have a great head coach in Mel Tucker. I really love him, and I think he's going to do enough to get the job done. It's going to be a night game, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. In a Washington environment, who they're not really known as really, one of the top environments in the nation or anything, but they're still going to bring noise. It's a night game, so students are going to get riled up for that one. It's going to be a tough game, but I ultimately see Michigan State probably wins that game anywhere from 3 to 10 points, in my opinion. So I like them on the money line, even though they're dogs by 2.5 or 3.5 points now. So.
See, I like that, but that's kind of one of those games where I feel like Vegas knows something we don't. So it would be one that I wouldn't touch.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Inexperienced me would be all over it going, that's free money, and I'd get shafted because Vegas specifically targets me. I promise. Like, they just go after me, I swear. They see it, Ben Stan, I made this bet on some weird-ass little Costa Rican site. Let's fuck them over. Like, I feel like that's what happens every week.
Yeah. I think that's a good pick, but I'm in the same boat as Ben on that. It seemed too good to be true, I guess. Is what I was going with.
That game, the Michigan State money line and the Vandy money line were the two that I was stuck in between. I went with what I thought was the safer bet. So I just decided to ride with it. I like Mel Tucker a whole lot. I think he's a great head coach for them. Kind of embodies what Michigan State is, in my opinion. So gonna go ride with him.
Fuck the Pac-12.
So my second one is the Ole Miss at Georgia Tech, the under.
64.
I believe the line, I think it's 73.
ESPN has it at 64.5.
Well, okay, maybe I saw 63 then. Yes, okay. Yeah, you're right. ESPN has it here at 64.5, but I just think that is a lot of points for a Georgia Tech team that I don't think they're going to put up that many.
There's no Jameer Gibbs anymore.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I just that's a lot of points.
And if Ole Miss scores 41, you're still counting on 4 scores from Georgia Tech and Jeff Collins, who fucking sucks.
Right, which that's the whole thing. Do you really expect Jeff Sims and whatever company he has to be able to do that? Because Georgia Tech will get some stops on Ole Miss. You know, I mean, they're not. Ole Miss is not the Ole Miss that we saw last year either. So I mean, it's a totally different team. I think it's very high as well. I think that's a great pick there for you, Thomas.
I mean, I could see it being like a 53-10 game. You know, like because it is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is Lane Kiffin. Like he's gonna have something up his sleeve. Because
that's true.
If Clemson could put up 41, they Ole Miss can put up more than that, but I don't know if they will. You know, that's a pretty safe pick. I feel like a very extreme amount of things have to happen in order for that over to hit.
Well, it could have been a possibility if Jameer Gibbs was still on Georgia Tech, but that's not
off to bigger and better things.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
My third pick, I'm rocking with the Mormons. BYU money line at Oregon. I feel like it's probably going to be one of those where it's too good to be true. Again, that I probably shouldn't jump on. But, man, Bo Nix sucks, and the Mormons beat a good Baylor team. I know they're at home, but they beat a good Baylor team and probably should have won comfortably before overtime without their top 2 wide receivers. You know, I get Oregon's a tough environment, but I do not see any chance that Bo Nix outscores that offense. I mean, you could be like, oh, well, they got a good defense. Well, Stetson Bennett just put up 49 on them. So I'm like, they scored 7 straight touchdowns. Like, there's nothing about that team that moves me at all.
The only thing I'm worried about with that, Ben, because I looked at it too, is that that was such an emotional victory for BYU. You know, like it's such a big game for them, and an emotional atmosphere, and it was close pretty much the whole way. Do you see really what I'm seeing is a drop off here, and not only that, but you're going into a place like Austin Stadium, not easy to play in, and you know Bo Nix in his whole entire career, even when he was at Auburn, he played better at home. He always played better at home. And so him being at home in Austin Stadium, he'll play better, you know, than he did in the past. So I don't know. I didn't want to pick that game. I thought BYU, it looks good on paper, but at the end of the day, you look at all the outside stuff that's been going on, and I just couldn't do it.
Understand.
Who did Oregon play last week?
Some small school, I think.
I say because that game probably served as a, you know, kind of to get them back on track. So I could see Oregon winning this game. In all honesty, like you said, that BYU game was probably exhausting, like mentally, physically, everything. So I could see Oregon doing it. I mean, it'd be the most Bo Nix thing ever to get blown out like you did against Georgia and then come back and throw for 400 yards.
Right. And I don't know why, but like Bo Nix is like the ultimate home field advantage quarterback. Like he just plays better at home, like way better. Like it's a shocking difference, like how good he is at home compared to when he is on the road. So it's gonna help them. Luckily for BYU, it's not a night game. It's just a 3:30 game. So they're not really getting the full Autzen experience there. So that might benefit them, but still. Just too much for them, you know, an emotional victory. I don't know if they're going to have their wide receivers back either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that as we get closer to game day. But there's a reason Oregon's favored by 3.5 points here. And so,
there's a reason Washington's favored.
I wouldn't even take Oregon minus 3.5. I would, you know, take, if it drops down to a -3, I would take them -3.
Well, both of y'all can kick rocks.
At worst, you're getting a push. At worst, I think you're getting a push there if you take them at -3. So if you can buy a half point down, I would take Oregon -3.
Yeah.
Kick
Well,
rocks.
moving on, my third and final pick, the lock of the week, is USC -12 at home versus Fresno State. Everyone's sleeping on USC. I don't know why.
I have
but
them ranked
offense,
fifth.
their offense is looking better than any offense Lincoln Riley had at Oklahoma. They're playing Fresno State. I could not tell you a single player.
Fresno State's got some dogs.
I mean, Fresno State's not a bad football team, but you're not going to compete with USC.
Yeah, I mean, at 12 points is only 2 scores. So
Congratulations.
I think that is a surefire. Throw the mortgage on it. Get rich.
I'm right there with you. That's my third pick as well. My third pick and my lock is USC -12. It's a beautiful setup. I don't know why it's not higher. There's a lot of respect for Fresno State, I'm guessing, because like I said, they're not a bad football team. It's the Lincoln Riley effect. I
hope y'all get backdoored.
Fuck you.
It's been ways.
So fast, right? Like everybody was like, oh, it's going to take some time for Lincoln Riley to kind of implement what he wants to implement there. He doesn't necessarily have all the weapons that he wants or needs, but they're damn good. I don't know if you've been able to watch them at all. I've just been able to see highlights, but they're good. They're a legit team to kind of make some noise for this college football playoff. They're going to have to win out, obviously, because you're in the Pac-12. Like, Pac-12 gets disrespected so much.
What's the respect about them? They don't get disrespected.
I understand why, but like that, there's a reason why. Like we all know why. It's just because
they're full of losers.
They don't
Every
play.
one of them.
They all suck. You know, like it's
Every
Pac-12,
team,
whatever. They don't play anybody. You know, that's how it is. It's Oregon, USC every year, and then every once in a while, you know, UCLA might be good for a year before they suck again.
I was gonna say I respect Utah, but they fucking blow too. They lost me money.
Yeah, well, I mean, Utah's good, but I mean, it's, you know, the same teams over and over again. Like, if I feel like every year there's just one good Pac-12 team. Like, there's nobody else that's good, and usually that one good Pac-12 team ends up losing one game, and then they're just fucked out of the college football playoff because the SEC is just, you know, the most dominant league in college football. So.
Now they're really about to get shafted with the only good team.
USC -12 is a huge lock here. They could win this game by like 24 points probably. So you're getting double probably points there, or half of your points there. So I really like them. You know, they look really damn good. So you know, they're gonna have a problem with Haener. Fresno State's quarterback's really fucking good. So we'll see if their defense is legit. They've looked legit up to this point. Lots of defensive turnovers and stuff.
They played Rice and someone else.
That's fine. I mean, Fresno State's going to be a little bit of a test for them. I mean, it's not a test like an Oregon or a Utah, you know, for them yet. But Fresno State's a good football team. Their quarterback's good. They have a good offense. So,
well, I'm rooting
if USC's defense is for real, then they should be able to put this game on hold for pretty much the entirety of it. So, I like it. I'm riding. Me and Thomas are going to ride together on this -12 lock for USC. I like it.
Oh, I'm rooting for y'all to lose.
Thank you, man.
We need a BYU USC matchup. It'd be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be a good game.
Ben, did you pick your third one already?
Yeah, BYU. It was BYU money line.
Hmm.
Do BYU and Utah play every year? I feel like they should play.
Yeah, the Holy War.
Has it played yet?
No, it's the end of the year.
Well, BYU money line. It's a lock.
Riding with the Mormons.
Yep. Soak it all in, baby.
I don't know about that. We'll have to see where they're at because BYU hinges on this week. So we'll see if they're able to pull it out. But I don't see it happening. I think Oregon's still going to get the
They are a playoff team if they win out.
Ben, you're going to go 0-3 this week, and I'm going to laugh.
Probably. But, I mean,
I really hope you don't. I hope you at least hit the FSU one because, like, I need that too. So.
Yeah. I really hope you hit the Auburn money line. That's going to be insane.
I'm going to yell at so many Penn State fans.
Are you going to the game, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually went to
section.
Yeah, I went to Penn State last year, so that was something. So there's some unsettled animosity.
I almost took App State minus 12 or minus 12.5 just because I'm going to be in Boone this weekend.
Go out there and just start rooting for Troy. Get you a Troy jersey. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the respect.
Yeah, dude. I'm if there's a Chase Bryce jersey, I might buy one. Not gonna lie.
Just wear a Chase Bryce Clemson jersey.
God, no, fuck that. No. He went from Clemson to it Duke? Yeah, Duke, and now he's at App State, just balling out. So, yeah, I'll have to cop a Chase Bryce jersey if they're available. But I'm definitely gonna be getting myself some App State gear.
Let's see, isn't that where game day is?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a shitty spot for game day.
It's an interesting choice with the matchup of games, but
they wanted to give. No, they're not going to be getting W's, Matt. It's only me. I am rooting against them. But my computer's got 11 minutes of battery left, and it always lies to me. So I think we're going to call an episode there. We appreciate y'all tuning in for another episode of Tribaholics, and hopefully we have good news next week and good topics to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to this game. First ACC game of the year. Really pumped for it. Wearing the all-white iciness from head to toe. Looking forward to seeing the sex that is about to occur on the field.
Fuck Louisville.